So I am going to start by giving you guys a run through of how the week is going to go, or the next couple of days. I'll be with you guys today, tomorrow, and Thursday. Then I'll give you guys a little bit of information about me because we're just getting to know each other and this is kind of new for us. And then we're going to get into today's training, which is about your story. So whatever story you're telling, whether it is fiction, nonfiction, a Facebook post, whatever the case may be, we want to get the people interested in the story because you can't really market a bad story. And I'm just coming from a person who read a lot of books, and I don't care how good your marketing is. And I mean, you guys may have seen it before where some books have slipped through the cracks, but most of the time that is not the case. So you want to have that story intact before you market it. So before we get into the true marketing piece of this, I wanted to go over that first and kind of lay that groundwork. I want any industry that I'm talking to, any person that I'm, teaching, consulting with, or anything like that, the first question I am going to ask is, what do you want? What do you want to write? Because even if, the readers are wanting to read this specific niche of books or this genre of books, and it's not what you want to write, it really doesn't matter, because you ain't gonna be feeling it. I can tell as a reader, when the author is really feeling what they're writing. So what is it that you want to write, and then apply the things that I'm about to talk about to what it is that you want to write, right? Does that make sense, y'all? I hope so. Okay. So let me get into this. I'm a goofball. I'm loud. I am the true definition of somebody named Shequana, but I'm really smart. I'm really smart. My aunt says it's probably hard for people to take me seriously sometimes until I show them my credentials, because I am the way that I am. But I promise you guys, I'm not going to lead you astray. We are going to work this out and sell these freaking books. Okay. But yes, I'm a goofball, and I'm kind of silly and loud and a little ghetto and all that good stuff. So anywho, we're going to start off talking about research. So once you know what type of books you want to write, what genre of books you want to write in, and I don't think that you are stuck writing a specific type of book. One thing that I have learned in working with other authors is it's good to write under different pen names and just researching in the groups and things like that. If you're going to write, if you're going to cross over into different, because the reader, may get confused. But outside of that, write whatever it is you want to write. But you do want to do some research behind whatever, genre you're going to write in, right? And so I wanted to give, like I said, I have not written a fiction book yet, but just from me being in this world for the last 2 years, I wanted to offer some tips on some things that I thought may work when it comes to researching whatever genre you decide to write, whatever book you decide to write is. I personally would go into these groups like the Black Girl Book Club podcast, but it's a lot of them out there, and really listen to, no, I'm going to take that back. Scratch that from the record. Don't listen to these people, because some of them, they be tripping. they be saying all kind of stuff, but lightly. I'm going to say lightly, not really. Lightly. Go into the groups, listen to what the readers are saying. Like, there are so many groups out now. You have so much information that you can gather and use as you may. I wouldn't take it to heart myself because, like I said, sometimes they be in there just saying some crazy stuff. But I would go in there, they're free. You don't have to pay anything, and really listen to what the readers are saying in these different groups about what they're liking, what they're not liking, you know, and there's different groups for all kind of genres. So whatever you decide that you want to write, you can go in any one of these groups and find out the information that you need. You could probably find a whole storyline, because I done written a few books in my group. Look, this is what I want to hear. This is what I want to read. People would personally go into the groups and find you know, what they liking, what they not liking, what they talking about, to do my research on my story. And this is just you gathering information, pulling information together for whatever type of story that you're trying, that you're wanting to write, right? Does that make sense? The next thing that I would do is find some people in my industry, and I do this every day almost. I've done it for years. Find the people in your industry that's winning. Who is out here killing it in the horror hood stories? Who writing horror hood and they winning right now? Because that's what I want to write. And just kind of see, like, you know, how they're formatting things, how they're doing things. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't written a book, but I'm not sure if you will want to read others' work, because I know sometimes they can kind of get a little fuzzy when you're trying to write. But I would definitely pay attention to what it is that they're doing and what their readers, because really it is a lot about the reader, what their readers are liking about this. I have even done this as a marketing and system strategist for authors with other authors. I want to see the authors that are winning and why are they winning? How can I help the people that I work with win like them? So I even do that. I've even done a lot of research. I've even read some books of some authors that I would have never read any other time outside of doing my research on them, you know. And I have gone outside my typical my regular, I read hood, Black romance, contemporary. Y'all know, if y'all in the group, y'all know what we read over there. But I've gone outside of that to just to kind of see the people who are doing really well and under other industries, and how they're doing that. So I recommend definitely going outside and doing that as well. Definitely educating yourself. I don't want to go too much into this part of it, but if, like I said, with myself, the industry that I'm in, I get emails, I get publications, I am in a lot of groups that have to do with marketing and system strategy. I take courses and stuff like that. So you definitely want to do things like that. I'm not sure, you know, what the options are out there for you all as far as, like, you know, writing and, you know, classes and things and such. If you know of anything, please pop them in the comments so we can share with each other. I meant to say this in the beginning. We talked about going into the groups, and when you're in there and you're doing your research, you're seeing what the readers are wanting to read. Engage with them, talk to them. You know, like, I know some of my favorite people, when I'm able to talk to them or kind of feel like, you know, it pulls me into their world even more. It pulls me into their world even more. I'm trying to find some more books, you know, like theirs or all of their books to read. So definitely engage with the readers. If you're in these groups, again, you don't want to spam them or anything like that. Ask questions. If you got a questions, if you're struggling with something, I'm going in there. I'm like, hey, what y'all think about this? And asking the readers what they think. And y'all let me know how comfortable y'all feel about that or what you think. I want y'all to tell me, what do you all think about what I'm saying? You know, how do you all feel about the things that I'm saying? Because like I said, I haven't written a book as of yet. So I want to know, how realistic are these things for you? Because I am still learning in that aspect. If any of these things seem feasible or something that's realistic for you all to do. To me, it seems very easy. But my personality is kind of different, but it seems easy. It doesn't seem like it requires, and I'm gonna give y'all a tip in a minute about how I myself stay up to date and like utilize the information that I'm getting as I'm getting it, because I do the same thing that I'm telling y'all to do for real. So we talked about writing groups. Definitely, you all have your beta readers, and asking them what they think, of course. And if you don't, building those relationships with the readers inside those groups and things like that will give you those ins and outs, and build that trust that you want to have with someone that you're asking to reading your work. And then that you will feel like you can trust them because you've engaged with them, you've built a rapport with them. Y'all may not be best friends, but you built that rapport with them. Like I talked about, because I have a list of things here, looking at other things, looking at other genres, checking out other things that are, and I read like 1 or 2 books, but mostly I've just been seeing and engaging with the people that I'm studying, that I'm getting the scoop on. We talked about monitoring the book clubs, going in there, seeing. I think that would just be like the easiest thing. Well, not the easiest thing. And you can even go in groups and search them too. Like, I've read where people have said like, oh, I want to read a book like this. Or, I love this story like this. I don't know. It just seemed like real easy. Y'all let me know. And definitely in a way that 2 things, because I'm a systems person, and so I'm very routine based, ritual based. I like to keep things in order, in layman's terms. And so what I would do if I were you is I would pick a day, a week, or a month that I do this research, right? And I would do it every single week at the same time, or every single month at the same time. And I would pick 1 or 2 or 3 of these things and look into it. Like, I'm gonna go in a group and I'm gonna, research, see what the readers are saying. I'm gonna, research this other author, or, this very popular person, or I'm gonna do this, because a lot of the time we struggle with having time to do things, especially if you work and you have a family and all of that. This is how people always ask me, like, how are you able to do as much as you do? Because I have structure. It have to be, because I would be a whole mess out here in these streets if I didn't have the type of structure that I do around my business, around my life, around the things that I do. And so what I would do is I would take a day or a week, a month, and I would go in and I would do these types of things. And then I would get a Google document. I use a project management tool, but if you don't, I use Notion. I know Trello is one that people use. ClickUp is one that I used to use. Get you a project management tool, or just get you a Google Drive document and start to jot these things down. I think it's some stuff like for writers out there, but just to keep it simple, I would use one of those things. I would put dates on them so that I can look back and see what's changed, what's still the same, and that kind of thing. So definitely do that if you're trying to research, or if you feel like you're in a slump, or you really want to know what's selling and what's not out there in the world. I definitely recommend that. So that's where I would start with my story, with the research. No, I would start with knowing what it is that I want to write. Oh, is my video frozen? Oh, okay. Start by knowing what it is that I want to write. So that's step 1. And then doing the research and finding those things out is step 2. Yes, girl, them readers be, I'd be like, whoa, what did they kill? Somebody in your family? Honey, the authors ain't did that much to you. I just read Arthur Chanel's comment. The readers can be vicious. So I personally would, if I was a writer, I would just take it with a grain of salt and just use it for what I needed to use it for, and then not. So let's get into the actual story. So you know what kind of book you want to write, you know what wavelength you want to be on. If you don't, I say dabble in a lot of different things. That's what I would do. And then to figure that out, do my research, and then you're going to start to write your story. So now I'm taking my marketing and system strategist hat out, and I'm putting my reader hat on, y'all, because I'm about to give y'all the inside scoop on what we looking for in these books, okay? In the nicest way possible. I'm not no shade or nothing like that to nobody. This is just truly, strictly to help. So one thing that I have found, because we get a lot of books in our DMs and our inboxes for the book club to read. And one thing that I have found in reading a lot of the newer works, and maybe some people who are not sure of their writing, is that some authors have not found their voice just yet. They don't really know what their, writing style is, what their, their voice is. And I wanted to give like some recommendations on what you can do to, like, I don't know, like really stick it to us, like have us like, oh my God, I was up all night reading this book. I ain't get no sleep, that kind of stuff. And so one of the things that I recommend if you're still trying to find your voice and, get your writing voice together is to think about something that the reader would want, something that they can relate to. And I'm going to go into this a little bit more. I'm going to try to explain it as best that I can, or something that would piss them off. Not to the point where it's not good, not being just mean about it. But when I say like what we want, like a lot of readers are wanting like love, and not just, oh, they fell in love today, like that deep connection, like deep connection love, like where we feel like, oh my God, I wish that I could have that, or something like that. Like when the chemistry is really strong between the characters, then, like allowing us to feel that. And so then when I talk about something that they can relate to, a lot of us can relate to love lost. A lot of us can relate to, losing a parent or losing a child, unfortunately, or, those types of things. So things that authors can relate to, things that readers can relate to, and then things that would piss us off, like, oh my God, this Negro, I ain't gonna curse too much, just did this, or why the hell did she do that? Or, like really get that emotion. That's what I'm trying to say, like connect with your reader emotionally, like their emotions and what it is that's gonna have them, like I said, up at night, not wanting to go to bed, like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened, yada, yada, yada. Let me see. What y'all think about that? Tell me while I'm going into my notes. What y'all think about, and most readers, when they read, and I've tried to say that this wasn't me, but I'm just going to be real with y'all. A lot of readers are reading to escape. So what kind of fantasy or out of this world aspect? And then I guess this can go into when you're thinking about what you're trying to write or what you want to write. Do you want to keep it in today's time? Do you want to write historical fiction? I have read some amazing historical fiction books by Joan Vassar. In the 90s, when you grew up, I love those, y'all. So thinking about that, like, are you going to be able to keep it? And this, to me, it all has to do with the writer's voice. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong with that, because you gonna write these things different than somebody else will write them. Yes or no? Or is everybody writing? No, this nigga is crazy. Why is he acting like this? And then you give us a little bit of, or go in depth, however you want to go into, about like, why he is this way. Why is he acting this way towards this girl? What happened to him in his childhood? Who hurt him? That type of stuff. Because you kind of get to know the people and you start to be able to feel like, there's somebody in real life. I'll probably sound crazy at this point. Don't check out on me yet. But yes, like, you be really like relating to these people and be like really wanting to know them. So yes, get me to fall in love, you got me, or get me upset with a character, you got me. Like you be loving to hate the characters, like for real, because you feel like a real strong personal connection to them. That's what the readers want. That's what I want. Like, baby, I be in that thing. Give me somebody that's crazy too. I don't know why. Maybe because I don't want this in real life. But, you know, if he a little bit touched, them be the ones I really be falling in love with. But like I said, not surface level, but we going deeper into like, why is he acting this way? You know, why he, you know, getting out of character, what happened to him? And then like with women, I think that we're relating to bossed up women because that's just kind of the times that we're in now with entrepreneurship and, you know, that kind of thing. Or you always have your damsel in distress or somebody who kind of needs to be saved or rescued, because all of us could probably kind of relate to that type of thing. But I'm saying all of that to say, give us a deep connection with the characters when you're writing your stories. We want to get to know them. They're going to be our cousins and our aunties and our sisters and our homeboys, our husbands, you know, all that kind of stuff in our heads, our wives, if you in that type of stuff, you know. And developing when you're doing the story between the man and the woman, where it's not just super surface level and you going deeper into the story, giving us the information, the highs and the lows and the why this happened, you know, and kind of, I like personally to get into the characters' heads when they having that dialogue, you know, why they thinking a certain way or why did they do a certain thing. They may not say it out to the world, but why, you know, I just punched this in the face for no reason, or why, you know, I'm pulling away from her type of deal, you know, that gets me a little bit and gives me a little deeper connection with the characters. And then where they are setting the scene, like I like for stuff to be clear. Myself personally, I like for it to be clear. I like to know where these people is at. If they in a room, I want to be able to see the room and the cover and the headboard and all that stuff, and painting a picture. And that's what the person is going to talk about on Thursday, because like I'm coming from a reader's aspect of what I like. They're going to talk about how you can actually write that well, because it can be like way too wordy and you kind of lose somebody, or it can be written perfectly where they get the sense that they're there, but it's not like you described, okay, it was a screw in the headboard that was turned left to right, you know, like that kind of thing. But I like to be put into the scenes to make me feel like I am actually in that space, you know, the time of it, whether it's, like I said, historical back in the day, 90s or whatever the case may be, and that type of thing. And then a surprise element is always fire. You know, you'd be like, oh my God, I did not see that coming. So that's always a good added touch that puts it over the top. And then for me, I would say, give us something good at the end. I like happy endings. I'm just gonna say for myself, but I know some people don't. But don't leave us hanging, and don't leave it like wide open, or, you know, unless it's gonna be another book afterwards. And y'all tell me if y'all like to write series or standalones, and we'll get into that as well at some point, not this week. I just wanted to go over this really quick, lead with this foundation just in case anyone was struggling with storytelling, just in case anyone kind of wanted to get into the mind of a reader and kind of see what we were liking, disliking, and kind of give you some tips on how to organize this stuff a little bit. That's where my systems and, you know, automation piece comes in when it comes to that researching and, you know, compiling the information and putting it into a document so that you can refer back to it and reference it, or, you know, utilize it in some kind of way, and having that day of the week that you do your research and stuff like that. Tell me if that's something that you all are doing, or if that was helpful for you in me saying that. And let me see, I want to give an example of something. For instance, someone came to me, they said they wanted to grow their email list, right? But to me, I don't want you having to sit online all day, join my email list, join my email list, join my email list, join my email list. So what I would do is say, okay, what is your goal? How many people do you want on your email list? right? They'll tell me what the goal is. Either they, whether they want it in a shorter period of time or just say, I want to grow my email list by 10,000 people over the next year. Okay, we're going to break that all the way down. How many people do we need to have joining the email list a day, a week, a month, a quarter, a year, right? And then we will create a system around being able to do that. And that's something I'm actually doing right now. So that's why the example that I use, create a system around actually being able to do that. And one of the things that I've done is we did a free book for a while to grow the email list, but it didn't just stop there. What we do is we grow the email list. We have the free book or chapter or excerpt or whatever the case may be, and then I put it into a software where the person can easily get to it, whether it be downloaded from the author or from Amazon. And then we have another email sequence that goes out to them, thanking them from joining the email list. And then whatever book that they got for free or resource, then we set up a system around that, asking people what they thought about it and asking them to leave a review. And so, and it's on autopilot, it's automated. Once it's done, you don't have to go back in and, be sending out all these emails yourself or anything like that. It's an automated process. So that's a lot of what I do.